Welcome back to price action trading series from Market Secrets. This is episode 48 of the series, and in this episode we are going to learn about SD range and CPs. Before we get into today's session, Market Secrets is proud to announce launch of algo trading using Python. If you are someone who wants to learn algo trading, then you can join our Algo Traders program. I'll leave the link to the details in the description section of this video. And with that note, let's jump into today's session on SD range in CPs. We have talked about this on a high level in the earlier episodes. So let's look at it in a detailed manner in this episode. Continuation patterns are only used to calculate SD range when there is a trade imbalances and it is being respected as well. Once the demand zone in CP has been taken out, we are not allowed to use the CP demand zones as part of SD range calculation. And once a CP demand zone is taken out, we must lean on the next available valley. And once a CP demand zone is taken out, we need to immediately switch to valleys and peaks for SD calculation as well. So when price starts consolidating by taking out an imbalance, we must use valleys and peaks, that is extremes, in order to calculate the SD range for that time frame in particular. So once the valley demand zone at extreme gains control, we must use the previous supply as the extreme of the SD range. So that is how you need to use the SD range in the CPs. So now let's look at it with an example. So consider you have a valley here. So I have marked a demand zone here, and then the price started rallying and it started printing CP. It printed one CP, I marked it another demand zone, and it printed another CP and I marked another demand zone here, and then it printed another CP and I marked another demand zone here, and then it went up and it started sliding down. So when the CPs are being printed, you can use the CP demand zones to mark the SD range. That is allowed. But the moment this market turns sideways and breaks the trend line or any demand zone, that is, it breaks the uptrend, at that moment all these CP demand zones become invalid, and immediately the demand zone at this valley gains control. So these three zones will immediately become invalid the moment this particular demand zone was broken. So you need to immediately use this SD range for calculating the SD range calculation.